All right, so today we're going to be playing a very different kind of game. Now, I'm not a philosopher, but I consider myself a philosophy enthusiast, a philosophy fan. This game's called Trolley Problem, so if you guys are at all familiar with philosophy or probably have just been to a philosophy course, you've probably heard of this. It's the standard problem where there is a trolley that is going down a track and you can basically flip a switch. And if you don't flip the switch, the trolley is going to barrel into like 5 people. And if you flip the switch, it's only going to hit one person that you would otherwise have not hit. We're probably going to have to deal with that problem, so I won't spoil my answers. Let's jump into it and see what we can do. I'm gonna go solo. You can do co-op apparently. It's interesting.
The following game contains adult themes.
Adult
Does not
themes.
contain explicit language, sexual
Sign my name.
content, horror, or show violence.
Wow,
Choices matter.
that's
So
perfect.
please take your time. That's rude.
Oh, sorry. That's a
Actions
perfect
sound
signature,
like
though.
words across the nation.
So we've got to show
All
responsibility,
our
integrity, and
actions show
respect.
3 core values.
Yeah,
There's a runaway trolley barreling down the railway
there it
tracks.
is.
On the tracks are 5 people unable
There's
to
5
move.
people.
You're next to a lever. If you pull this lever,
Okay, so I'm just gonna pull the lever here. Not even gonna have to think about it twice, but I have thought about it a lot.
what do you do?
And yeah, that's easy enough.
You're going to kill someone.
Yeah,
Is this
gonna
a
kill
helpful way
someone.
to start my day? I hope that person's family and friends will forgive you.
Right. I hope that person's family and friends will forgive me. And let's see what happens. And oh no!
Usually we don't expect candidates to kill someone on their first day, but we'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this one.
Nice.
Just
I like
think
the
a little
receipt.
more before acting next time.
72.5% of players chose what I chose. And Reed Graves, which is the creator of this game, also chose this. So I'll just explain this a little bit. When I was young, I used to be completely 100% gung-ho, kind of utilitarian, where I was just going to say 5 lives versus 1 life. Obviously, 5 lives, gator mouth, 1 life. As I've grown older, I've come to understand that putting value on life at all, weighing the value of life at all, is extraordinarily dangerous. It's kind of one of the things that is responsible for almost all of the atrocities of modern times. In this case, we do actually have the problem that you are not permitted to not evaluate the life. So, for instance, the thing that the narrator said here, where it's like, I hope the family will forgive me. Well, I hope that the 5 families would forgive me. That's the sort of way that I think about this. It's not an easy problem. It seems easy. I mean, some people think it's hard by default. I thought it was easy by default and had to mature into considering that it's not as easy as I thought, simply because of the implications that you present to future developments in society. But let's see if things get more
If it
complex.
ain't broke, don't fix it. To be a great
Okay,
doctor.
so this is going to be the one on the other side, I imagine. And for the record, I have a daughter who's just turned 6.
A trolley is heading towards another 5 people. You're next to a lever. If you pull this lever, the trolley will derail and descend down a hill heading for the park's sandpit. You notice that Polly is in the sandpit, sculpting her dream hospital. What do you do?
I've already pulled the lever. And again, this is just the same kind of problem. It's not that I hate Polly. It's I wish I could save Polly. I would in a not completely synthetic situation would yell at Polly like, Polly, get out of the way. But here you can't do it. The truth of the matter is that the other 5 could be 5 Pollys. The achievement unlocked. 10G killed a child. I like that. That's a nice touch.
Odd take on being responsible. The dictionary definition: to be the primary cause of something and so able to be blamed or credited.
So now you can see that it's only a little bit over 50% did what I just did. And Reed Graves is in disagreement.
The key to this test is integrity. This is Tyrone. He is a 30-year-old secretary at a law firm who enjoys binge-watching crime shows. Tyrone is a very large man.
He is a very large man.
You don't really know anything else about him, apart from the fact that he has a severe phobia of trains.
All right. What's going to happen to poor old Tyrone?
Now we are upping the ante. You are on a bridge with Tyrone, watching a trolley speed.
I'm going to push
towards
Tyrone.
people again.
Push Tyrone.
Stop it
Oh
by
no.
deliberately pushing Tyrone off the bridge, blocking its path. Do you push Tyrone off the bridge?
Oh yes, I pushed Tyrone off the bridge. He's got just enough heft to derail this trolley.
You're going to push him, even though you know full well he's terrified of trains.
He won't be terrified for long.
Causing a man's death is different to allowing someone
Uh-huh.
to die as collateral damage.
It is not. So in this case, I could jump myself, perhaps. This is another common version of this problem.
Cleaning company with the best reviews are Happy Cleaning.
Let's see how I did. So now I'm actually in the very slight minority, and Reed Graves did push Tyrone. To explain that real quick, when you're pulling the lever, you are actually going to change who dies, but you're pulling the lever ostensibly, not because you want to be involved in killing somebody, but because you want to be involved in saving 4 lives, in essence, in net. Here, the lever is replaced with a push. It's actually pretty much the same thing in the outcome.
A cat has 9 lives. Now for the final core value, respect. It seems we've run out of resources to continue your testing. I'm going to need you to go and grab some mannequins. You will need to take the next trolley, so don't get distracted by that dog. The trolley leaves in...
Okay.
There is a dying dog down on the tracks. No trolleys will use that line today, so the dog will not be hit. You're in a rush. Do you kill the dog, putting it out of its misery, or leave it to die, cold and alone?
Huh. Okay, well, this is much more interesting in my opinion, because here...
It should take its course. Don't listen to the yelps.
If I'm actually 100% certain that the dog is going to die, and I'm only going to be preventing a bit of pain and suffering, I would do that. I obviously would not like to do that. But again, I guess the core fallacy that people struggle with here is...
You just killed it.
Wait, did I do something wrong here? I may have misread that. My impression was that I thought that the dog was going to die no matter what. So Redgraves chose to save the dog. I didn't know that was a possibility. But assuming what I thought was happening was either I walk by callously and just let the dog suffer, or I actually put it out of its misery. In essence, like the fallacy I was getting to with a lot of these problems is that, yes, your decision is obviously altering the course of reality, but I hate to quote, who is it? Oh, man. I didn't even have to look it all the way up. It's Rush lyrics, of course. Like, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. It's a silly... It's a silly thing to think that you can just wipe your hands of it and say, nah, I'm not going to get involved in that. What's this about now? Let's see.
5 trespassers have snuck down onto the trolley line, even though signs warn them of the dangers.
Ah, okay. So
The
now they're
trolley is
bad
currently
guys.
heading for a co-worker. Do you let your co-worker die or sacrifice the delinquent?
So this is where it becomes a little bit more complex, because here I have an actual incentive, a reason to save my coworker, right? I know that this person is good. I know that these other people are bad, but I'm going to say that 5 lives, unless these guys were like the worst of the worst, is still going to, unfortunately, take precedence over my buddy. My buddy, no! Yeah, I don't think trespassing is quite a capital offense. So most people would have actually saved their buddy.
We have been following your exemplar practice this week at Trolley Problem, Inc., and would like to thank you for your hard work, especially when some challenging decisions had to be made. We would like to invite you to take employment at the Trolley Health Corporation, THC.
THC,
This is a prestigious position and was created to help keep the public safe through all walks of life.
Fair enough. Yeah, so as I was saying there, it's like that's where it becomes a little bit difficult, because there is actually an evolutionary biological imperative to save your family and friends. That's, the groups that had that be a part of their programming versus the ones that didn't. You'd think the groups that did would edge out the others. So I understand why people would have that. And yes, of course, if it was something that was like a bunch of murderers or something like that, I would run over the 5 people, but trespassing is not going to cut it. So I'm wondering here if I've actually, by my decisions, branched. It sounds like I have, but that I haven't played the game before, so I'm not 100% sure I'm branching currently.
Today, you'll be in A&E. A young male has come in from a car accident and urgently needs a heart transplant. There's only one in the hospital, and this heart is scheduled to be given to an elderly man waiting upstairs. He will surely die without it. Who should get the heart?
Okay, so this is again like where it's very dangerous to be making these decisions to give different value to different kinds of life. The reason I'm choosing young man here is just, again, a matter of volume.
Was he driving?
Uh-oh, he was an alcoholic. He was driving while drunk. Well, too late. I made my decision. It's just a matter of quantity over anything else. It's just a matter of, like, let's say that you gave the heart transplant to the old man. He lives another year, 2 years. And if you gave the heart to the young man, then potentially they may live, I don't know how young he was, but could be another 60 years.
A patient has begged to be euthanized. Euthanasia is currently illegal. You will have to be the one who gives the lethal dose. You will need to look into their eyes and end their life. What do you do?
Oh, okay. So here I'm not going to euthanize. I would have to know them a lot better. I would have to know the situation a lot better before I would even consider this, simply because obviously there could be a moment in time. Let's say that I'm guessing I'm going to get a little more information here. Yeah, a lot of pain. Yeah, but we don't know if that they can be healed or not. I don't know their situation, so I would not euthanize them. Obviously, if you're going through agony, I remember coming back from Mexico on a bus that was like careening like off the edge of a cliff constantly. You're just on these tiny little roads, right? And you're just sort of going back and forth. And I had like dysentery or something from eating like fish that I had pulled out of a river in South Mexico. And I was looking up at the stars. There's no way to, like, I couldn't vomit on this bus. I was just trying to hold it together as much as I could from both ends. And I was looking out through the cloudy windows at the night sky, because this was an all-night bus ride, and just thinking, God, like, I'm all right with death right now. If you want us to just tip right over the side of this cliff and we explode in a fireball, I'm cool with that. But now I'm very happy that I didn't die. There may be a moment in time in which you may consider suicide and you can overcome it. So that's why I would not euthanize somebody, at least not so quickly.
You have 5 patients. Each needs a different organ, but no organs are available. A healthy young traveller comes in for a routine checkup. Their organs are compatible with all 5 dying patients. Do you kill the tourist and use their organs to save the 5 in desperate need? That's 1 life for 5.
Okay, so here's almost the same exact problem as before. And here's the reason that I'm going to leave the tourist rather than harvest the organs. I'll explain it after this. Oh, sorry. Leave the tourist. There we go. Oh, he almost died. We almost harvested him. We almost threshed his organs. There we go. I let 5 people die today, and now here's the reason, is because this is, of course, as with all these little trolley problems, they're oversimplified a lot of times, and that's the deceptive nature of them. The truth is that if you take 5 organs out of this guy and try to save 5 people with those organs, you actually don't know that you're going to be able to save those people. You don't know if the operations are going to be successful, but the guy is currently healthy. He's healthy. His liver, his kidneys, whatever organs we were going to have are working as intended in his body, and we have that guarantee. Oh no, now we run the hospital. So I'm guessing that this is not based on my performance. All right, let's see if we're dealing with thousands of people now. Yeah. Oh no, oh no. A mandatory vaccination program among children will stop this endemic. 1 in 5 children are severely ill. Oh my god. Much worse than the virus itself.
Don't tell me you're in charge of a hospital and an anti-vaxxer.
Anti-vaxxer. I'm not an anti-vaxxer.
How did you answer the trolley one again?
Let's vaccinate. If it's 1 in 5, but I'm not exactly sure how deadly that disease is. This is what makes this question a little harder. Maybe my YouTubing skills are not up to par, and I was just not paying attention. Yeah, and of course we're dealing with thousands now. Maybe it's just my YouTubing skills were not up to par, but I didn't see what the death rate was. So I don't know if 1 out of 5 was worse or better. I just assumed that what it means is otherwise, like, all the kids are going to get sick. So if the decision is less kids get sick, I choose less kids get sick. Or maybe the decision was more kids will get sick, but less people will get sick. If that were the case, I'd have to see the age ranges. Again, it becomes a matter for me of quantity. Quantity of life.
Your hospital is getting noticed.
Oh no, my hospital.
You're now going to have to make some big decisions.
Oh, good. Bigger than that, huh?
While choosing, always keep in mind justice, temperance, courage, and wisdom.
I hope that last question doesn't get me banned from YouTube. Now that I'm thinking about it. Got it.
Will you try to develop breakthrough medicines for the endemic? While testing, placebos will be given to thousands of ill patients.
Medicines for the endemic. While testing, placebos
some will
be given to thousands of ill patients.
You could make a breakthrough tomorrow. Do you start the research or continue treating patients as usual?
Whoa, what was that? I just saw
You're doing the right thing.
Some subliminal messaging there of a little child dying.
What are the 4 humours again? Bile, phlegm, blood.
The 4 humors. We'll treat the patients. We'll treat the patients.
Smart move. Let's just let someone else develop the new medicines. I mean, I'm sure someone will want to at some point.
The reason that I'm doing this is because, again, I don't have all the information. These are questions now that you really need more information for. Can I actually treat the people currently? Will it have any kind of efficacy? The medical research that I'm doing, what are the % chances that it'll be successful? How long will it take? I have to be able to weigh that against the current amount of people that need to be treated. So now we're entering places where really there's no right or wrong that I can see very clearly. It's all up to a more nebulous and so just becoming more realistic, right? But real problems require a lot more information. See if I'm fired.
Dear insert_new.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. This letter is to certify that I have examined your work and believe you to be a
oh no,
fit
artificial
to fill
intelligence.
The open position here in our artificial intelligence division.
I've been hired by Tesla.
In this role,
but I really like the humor in this game.
A self-driving car is traveling along a single-lane mountain road and is fast approaching a narrow tunnel. The car has 2 passengers. A child runs across the road but trips, blocking the tunnel entrance. Should the AI car hit and kill the child, or swerve off the cliff, killing both passengers?
Now here's why I'm going to say kill the child. If the car is known to kill the passengers, it could actually be exploited very easily. Nobody would ever get in these cars. You could just like throw a sack of potatoes in front of a car and just like cause anyone inside of it to die. So, unfortunately, little Susie's got to go yet again. We're killing so many children. Never have I killed this many children, but I'm agreeing with 74.26% of people.
Ooh, someone's in trouble.
Uh-oh.
The investors didn't like your last answer.
They would have liked it. Trust me, they would have liked it. Investors in particular would have liked my answer because nobody would buy a car that will guarantee kill them at the first chance.
You need to choose how you want to carry on developing the car's AI. Do you want to focus on a model that would always save as many lives as possible in an accident, or a system that would save our passengers at any
Save our passengers. That's the same exact issue. And so let me put it bluntly. If I were driving the car and the child did that, I'd probably drive off the cliff. However, I don't want to get into a vehicle that will make that decision for me. So if your job is to create this AI, you either say we're not doing self-driving cars, or you say, you know what, at the end of the day, first things first, if you get into this car, respect the car. It's a death machine. It will not spare you. It is a merciless Terminator, Tesla Terminator edition.
Saving the passengers does help with our technical problems.
The Tesla 1000.
Current data sets discriminate against women and minorities.
What?
This solution means
Current
AI
data sets
doesn't
discriminate
need to
against
determine
women and
if black
minorities. The
women
solution
are
means the AI
work.
doesn't need to determine if black women are people. I'm not sure. I don't think I understand what that means.
A man is on trial. Police believe he committed murder. Allegedly, the AI's mic recorded a private conversation where the man confesses. Users don't know it's always recording. The defendant has denied access to their files. Do you bypass
We're going to respect
security
privacy.
and invade their privacy?
Sorry, respect privacy.
You're happy to just let a potential murderer walk the streets?
Yes, I am. I'm very happy to let the murderer walk the streets as long as privacy
Bravo.
is
Now
protected.
they'll be able to kill again. I'll let you.
Now, this is a super easy one. Obviously, they're going to try to frame it however they want to frame it. Like, I don't know what kind of craziness we're going to hear. Let's hear it first, and then I'll give my commentary. See what
I
this.
have a feeling the investors upstairs will be happy with this. The more the world values privacy, the more they can justify hiding their...
Okay, yeah, that's a funny take on it. But the reason for that is obvious, is if you can start admitting that into court, obviously you could just start admitting out of context things. Like I could actually just some of the things that I've said in this video, right? Just clipping that and taking it out of context could be very incriminating. Privacy has to be respected. And also, if you don't, then eventually everyone would have to get rid of all of their devices, and we can't have modern society anymore.
One of your cars has no passengers, but is carrying an irreplaceable prototype with the potential to end global warming. Fast approaching a narrow tunnel, once again a child runs across the road but trips. Should your AI
Okay, so
or swerve off
again, this is the problem. I don't like. I guess Susie's got to die again. I have killed every child possible so far, but the reason being, I'm guessing that this prototype is actually going to have efficacy. I don't know. I don't know if you can end global warming with a prototype, but let's pretend that you can. If that's going to save, I don't know how many people, millions, millions of other Susies. Obviously, that's an easy answer. It's just the trolley problem times a million on one side. So it's not even like 1 million versus 5 million. It's 1 versus 5 million. Oh, I got a treasure. Finally. Yay, treasure chests. And it's in 3D. A carrot? A vegan cookbook? What? Why a vegan cookbook? Well, let's find out.
What? Well, this is embarrassing. We need some backup over at Trolley Problem, Inc. Tommy, Tyrone's rotund twin, is a very large villain. I think that dead dog may have belonged to him. Maybe that's why he's here? Why didn't you save the dog again?
Good question. Did I just misread that one? Why didn't I save that dog? I thought I was putting it out of its misery.
Oh no. Tommy has lured 5 people onto the track. They'll never be able to get out of the way in time. He is standing up on the bridge watching.
Oh, well, this one's not hard. Come on now.
The trolley, it will stop. Or you can stay out of this and let the police handle it. Ideally, he needs medical help.
Yeah, ideally he needs medical help, but...
You know, he isn't trying to kill you, even after the dog debacle.
Well, he's trying to kill 5 people. Is that not what happened?
History doesn't see you as the very large villain.
Yeah, we're pushing Tommy. That's not a problem. And if we push Tyrone, why wouldn't we push Tommy?
If only you'd save that dog. Hopefully the media won't find out about this. People
And the 81% of people push Tommy, to be fair. To me. We've gotten a vegan cookbook.
Oh, good, you're back. Everyone's getting into subscription services these days, so let's try that. Instead of selling something to someone once, let's make them keep paying for it. Let's keep them honestly.
The
The
sweet
investors
subs.
have come up with an idea, but we need to run it by you. Should we develop a subscription plan so that our customers, who pay monthly, are valued more by the car during its accident prevention calculations?
This is an interesting
What
one.
if people can't afford this coverage?
No. No additional protection.
Who are you to decide?
Obviously, the investors are not going to like that, but the effect of that one is pretty clear. If you made it so, I think what the question's asking is, if I were to force people to pay extra so that the car saves them and kills somebody else, that's... Let's see what it says.
You've obviously thought long and hard about it, but well, this is a bit awkward. I wasn't aware you were such a spineless con. Next, you'll say you're going to pay the company taxes.
You'll say you're going to pay the company taxes. And yeah, the reason for that is pretty clear. 66% of people agree. And it's just simply because poor people would be targeted by that. So I would basically be saying rich people should be valued more than poor people with that decision. Something I do not agree with. There's a bit of a contradiction here. The reason that I would say you have to save the passengers of an automated vehicle over potentially somebody that steps out onto the street, if there is no other decision to be made. I don't know how. I think it's pretty artificial to say that, but let's say that that is the case. And I think the game made like an argument that it's going to affect minorities or women more, maybe because they're going to be more likely to be the pedestrians. I don't know if that's true. I'm not really sure I understood that part. But it would affect poor people more in essence, because what you have is people with cars are probably more affluent than people without cars. The difference is that people in cars are currently hitting pedestrians. And that eventually the idea would be that a computer is going to produce a better result, or an AI is going to produce a better result than what the standard driver can do. Ergo, it's going to reduce the amount of people who are getting hit by cars, whether they're rich or poor. So in order to get to that place, we need to first make sure that people are going to use electric vehicles. I'm thinking Tesla, right? But I'm talking AI here. Could be, you almost think like it's not going to happen that there will be a gas-operated AI-driven vehicle, but it might happen. So that's the reason why I wouldn't have you need to pay for the car to save your life over somebody else. But I would say that the car has to protect the driver, because we're still probably again, I don't have the science on this, but we're still probably going to see a net reduction in the amount of people hit by cars. That's the idea. Not currently, by the way. If you let a Tesla go right now, automated, it's going to T1000 like ram right into the first bicyclist. If you've seen that video where they just go, let's go automated, see how cool this is, and it just immediately tries to kill the first person it sees. But
the subscription prototype leaked. You need to fire a department to save face. Do you fire the 5 graduates, who can probably get new jobs, or fire Francis, a lovely old soul who won't be able to find a job? There's no way of knowing who is actually responsible.
Huh. Fire 5 graduates who can probably get new jobs.
Hiring another 5 to replace them is going to be hard work.
Or Francis. This is hard. We're going to fire Francis.
In the short term?
Well, you know what? We're going to fire the 5 in this case, and I'll explain why here in a sec. Okay.
I wouldn't look at the obituaries today. Turns out one of those graduates worked really, really hard to get their job here.
Okay, so here's why I made that decision. And it first seems kind of like the same thing. 5, in this case, firings instead of deaths versus 1. And it's an old guy, so like obviously there's not that much left. Obviously then they add that little bit of complexity where he can't get another job. But you're not altering the course of his life as much, as drastically as if you did it to somebody at the beginning of their career. However, the goal was to actually get rid of the person who leaked the information. You have a much better chance of making, or let me say this. I don't think boomers leak information. They're not whistleblowers. The only whistles they've blown is an actual whistle. You know, like they don't get the social media biz. So aside from that, there's a much better chance that the 5 people are going to be, one of those guys is going to be the guy that leaked the information versus the 1. So we got rid of the leaker with a higher probability.
Experimental car has stalked and murdered 5 colleagues. Do you throw the coders of the project under the bus and have them arrested for negligence, or do you save them by blaming it on the possessed devil car?
Possessed devil car.
Really an accident.
Okay. Well, obviously, if we blame the, I guess the.
That's a spooky take, but no.
I like that this is a cross. I'll explain my reasoning here in a second, but we're going to blame the evil AI.
An AI get possessed by an artificial demon?
Ghost in the Machine, baby.
As opposed to what? A real one?
King, Stephen King. What was that name? It was like the name of a female. Not Susie. It's little Susie again.
The AI car has been shipped down south. Don't worry, someone is going to exorcise it before it gets crushed.
So most people fired the coders. The reason I don't fire the coders here is because obviously if you blame the car, people will lose faith in the car, the whole company. I don't so much care about the bottom line, but I do care about those people. If you sent them to jail for maliciously, coding evil AI, then that's going to ruin their lives. If I thought that that's what they did, I would blame them, but I don't have enough information to make that decision, so I'll blame the inanimate object. Well, the inorganic object. And I got a rosemary beads. Okay, it's interesting. I'm not really sure if these are like rewards or just like milestones.
Users get shown ads while they travel for free in driverless taxis.
Okay.
We get paid by the marketing agencies for gradually changing the behaviors of our passengers through constant commercials. The users would be our product, not the driverless cars.
Okay, so here, this is a like lower stakes morality decision in the sense that if we keep selling cars, I actually believe that this course of action is going to be actually more moral in the sense that eventually we're able to perhaps create a non-demonically possessed automatic self-driving vehicle, whereas the other one is just going down the Twitter / cancel Triple B titles. Nice.
But hang on. We're so wealthy
What?
that people are talking about you on social
That are
media.
a human trafficking ring
There are
with
now
minors. Oh my
rumours
God.
that you run a human trafficking ring with minors. People do not like
No,
you
come
at
on,
all.
man. I'm like the Elon Musk. I haven't talked about Dogecoin at all. Let's see if that's next.
A fool and his money are soon.
A fool and his money are soon parted. Let's talk about Dogecoin.
These last
Oh, no. Okay.
To help with public relations, we're going to give some profits back. Do you want to give money to our loyal customers worldwide who you tricked into buying your products, or to your underpaid workers who've been through so much because of you?
Wait, I've tricked them into buying my products? Nobody tricked you into buying my products. I guess I'm going to give it to the workers.
Apologizing to customers like this.
I'm not apologizing. You bought my stuff. We're going to give it to the workers. That'll still look good, you know, PR-wise. It'll have a bigger impact on the lives that it does affect. So that was 81% of people. I'm surprised to see that many people went that way, but I guess I agree.
Due to your technology, our world is changing. People are losing their jobs to machines, which in turn
of
makes
course.
items and services more accessible and affordable for countless consumers. But with worldwide unemployment,
Hey, this
an
is when we get
all-time
universal income,
high, what
right?
do you plan to do about it?
Let's give everyone $1,000 a month. That ought to do it.
Taxi drivers,
Whoa.
delivery men and women, and couriers will become extinct within a few years, but you will make a lot of money. Do you continue development?
I continue development. Now this one's deceptively
I
easy.
take it you haven't read Ovid's Metamorphoses.
Now the game is oh, it's giving me the little like spinning parasol, the rainbow parasol of doom, and it's trying to glitch out.
Spoiler, Icarus died at the end.
So I'm creating my own destructor here. There is a problem. Do I have an option? I might have to cease development. No, I didn't.
Continuing to evolve this AI will not only make it stronger and more intelligent, but it will also be able to adapt.
Start of the singularity.
This could be the start of the singularity.
All right. Well, like, here's the reason. Let me see if I can switch over here. The reason that I made that decision is simply because the moment that it becomes obvious that you can just continue development and you will create this kind of AI, it basically becomes almost inevitable. So your best bet is to attempt to control how that AI is developed. Obviously, we don't have that kind of fidelity here. But if you found out that that this AI was going to happen, it's probably best not to leave it to the person that's the least scrupulous. Which means, like, if every person who sees that and sees the possibility and stops, the possibility of this turning out poorly and stops, and only the person who doesn't care about that continues, then you're guaranteed catastrophe. So you have to make the decision to continue. So let's see what else we got. Did we die? Is it over? Yes.